We got an incredible guest here with us today, Q Parker. Let me see how I should say this.
How you want to say
is
it?
a creator, founding member.
Founding, all of that.
One of the founding members of the incredible group 112. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here,
Man,
first of all.
thank you for having me, man. Always good to reconnect with the OG, man. I love it. I love it.
Man.
Absolutely.
I'm appreciative. We had a crazy debate going on, and it was just us talking off script. So I want to bring some of that back. Some of that.
Let's do it.
There's a period right now that it seems that it went away for a little bit, and now everybody's coming back to this love affair that they have with the 90s going into the 2000s. And I think because you was there, I want your perspective of, is it just a seasonal thing? Was the music just that good and now we're refining it? You know how that happens, you know what I'm saying? Or was it not appreciated? In your perspective, what happened and what is happening now? Because it seems like a resurgence. Like anything from the 90s is hot now, son.
It's hot now, son. Son, we up top, okay? It was just that good, I feel like. It was just that good. And I think one of the ways to show that it was just that good is if you look at across the touring space, a lot of the majority of the touring artists are 90s artists. And here we are in 2024. And not because I'm a product of the 90s. I just believe with respect to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and they had their own special sauce on them. I just think it was just something about the 90s, man, that just the groove, the vibe, and the substance and the performance. I think in our era, man, we really sang. We were great storytellers. We took time to really tell the story. It wasn't so in your face. We left a little mystique about how our approach was when boy meets girl. And I think relationships are going to always be the same. You're going to have great times, you're happy, sad, or intimate. Right? And so those things are just a part of life. And so when you talk about that 90s era, that was our sweet spot. And I think it's an era not to be compared to the others.
Right.
But when you're just specifically talking about the 90s, it really is special, man.
Are you ever surprised that, I mean, there are groups from your period that we don't see anymore.
Yeah.
Let me be frank. There are other groups like yours that there is still demand. Why?
I think
specifically for you guys.
Well, I think our catalog is extensive. In any given moment, you can play about 11 112 songs and be like, oh, that was my joint.
You're talking about the first album.
Exactly. You feel me? Well, thank you. But I just think, again, with what we were singing about, how the melodies really spoke to you. We didn't just throw out words or throw out notes.
Are y'all thinking that when you're doing this stuff? Are you saying to yourself, you know what, man, 20 years from now, we're going to still be on top?
We weren't thinking of that then. However, we were super fans of Babyface and Quincy Jones. And what they always taught was a melody will stand the test of time if you make it simple enough for the average person, no matter what their level of vocal ability is, can sing with, and so sing to. And so if you think about a lot of the 112 catalog songs, they will always sing along. Think about all the Babyface records, whether he wrote them from himself or for other artists. They were always songs that anybody in the audience could sing along. And I think we mastered that even at a young age because we were fans of Quincy Jones and Babyface.
I got you. Now, I know all you guys in the group, everybody does kind of like their own thing. Is there any possibility in the future we see all the guys say, hey, let's do it like this?
Man, time is the greatest storyteller. And, who knows, man? When you have, I'm 48 years old. And
Man, black people don't
this
like to
journey
look old no more.
this-
I keep looking at him like he's the kid, the kid from the 90s and 112. So y'all got to
Right.
excuse me. When you said that, I was kind of shocked. Like, what? Because if you say you 48, I got to acknowledge some things that I ain't going to acknowledge today.
And that young man that you remember was 17 years old.
Wow.
And so when you think about a 30-year,
Wow. Yeah.
right? That's a lot that one contributes to not only themselves professionally, but that's an amazing commitment for a group setting.
That's true.
And so after so many years, one has to have an opportunity to just say, hey, there are some things that I need to do for myself.
Yes, sir.
No disrespect to what we have
Absolutely.
done as a unit, but I'm still an individual, and I have some things that I need, some T's I need to cross and some I's I need to dot. And so we're just kind of in that space where, you know, everybody has the opportunity to do their thing. But I just feel like the atmosphere, the energy in around the industry is really saying it's time for a reunion of sorts. I can't pinpoint when that'll be, but I just think it's closer now than it's ever been.
How do you keep your head on straight? Because let's just be honest. This business is crazy. You've seen a lot of crazy stuff. How did you manage to still be of sound body and mind?
Dude, as they say, I got a praying grandmama. But man, I'm just super confident, man, in Quinnis. I always have believed in my abilities, my gifts. I've always known that I'm covered. I believe in serving, and so I know that if you serve, blessings will come. Your blessings are connected to your giving. If you be kind, if you do the right things, if you are just putting the right foot forward, things will come back in your favor. And so I've always been super confident, man. I've always believed in myself, believed in my talents, believed in my entrepreneurial mind. I'm super creative, even outside of music. And so I just don't have time, man, to
Get caught up.
to get caught up in depression and what I'm gonna do now, because my mind is always going. Oh, I had this new idea. Let me go put some time over here. Oh, I had a song idea. Let me go in the studio and create this song. Oh, now I got philanthropy. Like, it's just my mind keeps me in a space where I really don't have the time, man, to be worried about what's not in front of me.
How did you know when this group? I want to go all the way back.
Yeah.
How do you know when these guys are coming together that this is going to be something special? How did that process take place? Because of course everybody believes, and I don't even know if this is true. The story, it was a club and it was called 112, and da, 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 da. I don't remember all that. So clarify for me. And what was it about the guys that y'all knew that, you know what? I don't know. These four right here, we feel like something, bro.
Well, that part of the story is true. We did meet Diddy in the parking lot of Club 112, and that was the initial interest. We then 2 weeks later, had an official audition, but the very first one was as he was walking out of Club 112, and we just kind of did an impromptu audition.
Y'all just ran up on him, or really?
It's like one of those walk with me, and we trying to hold the keyboard and play at the same time while we singing and walking, and we trying to sing and snap and. But I felt like there was something special with the four of us because they were already a group before I joined. I was the last official member to join the group. The original group was 5 guys. 2 older guys graduated, which left Slim, Mike, and Duran. Wow. And by the time they came to me, I was super active in school, president, and this, play sports, all of this. And so I just had to figure out a way to manage my time. But I knew that they were special because they sang at all the assembly programs. You know, they were part of the show choir. We were all part of the chorus. So I knew that they could sing.
Oh, y'all went to the same school?
Same middle school and high school.
Wow. Okay.
And the basis of 112 was everybody had to be able to hold their own. We were not going to have a group that were placeholders or dancers.
That one guy could dance, but he didn't have no vocals.
You needed to be able to grab a microphone and stand on your own and just sing somebody up under the table.
Yes, sir.
And I knew that would make us different. I didn't know how far that alone was going to take us because there were no other groups at that time like that. You go down the history of all male R&B groups.
There's always a link.
So when they talk about the best groups, I have to like categorically decide or figure out the best. But I know no matter what category, when it comes to pound for pound, vocal ability, man to man, can't nobody
sound like he trying to do a versus with somebody out there. I don't know who.
I'm just saying that's a given. However, with that, we cannot ignore the sauce that Sean Combs added to
Respect,
what
man.
112 was, because had we not signed to Puffy, let's just say had we gone to Jermaine, Dallas, LaFace, which were all Atlanta based, organized noise, we would have probably have been what we thought we were, which was just some balladeers, some crooners, get us in the room with some girls, let us sing some ballads, and that's it. Well, every group was doing that. But here comes this connection to Puff, who was a New York based, and I remember he would say to us, if I can't play it in the tunnel, it ain't a hit. And the tunnel is just up tempo, it's hard, just hip hop based. And so him adding that element to 112, already melodic, gospel, we were the first artists to really define hip hop and R&B, because he would give us these incredible hip hop tracks, which we had no idea what to do with them. And we would just have to be in the studio and just kind of figure out musically, how do we make this sound good? Like, if you can imagine getting a 8-bar loop of the KC and Sunshine Band for 4 minutes. That's
Make a song.
Make a song out of that. And so we had to just kind of figure out, okay, he ain't gonna let us just do a straight up ballad, not right now in the first album. So let's try to take these hard hitting hip hop tracks and try to make them as smooth and sexy as we can.
Funny. I'm gonna cut you off. You know why? Because when I think 112, I don't think the hip hop track. Obviously, only you. But when I think 112, you know what the first thing that pops in my, what song you think pops in my head?
Which one? I don't know. Tell me.
Cupid. To me, that song for me describes 112. Somebody, who's 112? Play Cupid. I think, to me, in not saying that there's not other songs, but that's the first one that's going to be my go-to. Maybe four. Don't get me wrong. Now we at the club,
But what's funny though is,
so it's just interesting to hear you say that.
Cupid was the only ballad we ever released as a single, outside of "Love You Like I Did."
Maybe because the way y'all
and
sang.
Cupid wasn't even a ballad; it was a slow mid. It has tempo. Puff's idea of what we were.
It bangs a little bit, but it feels it's like a little two-step. I can dig that.
Our mentality was, commercially, we gonna dance, and we gonna get you in the club. While everybody else was, we're male artists, we're male R&B, we gonna just ballad you all day. And what's crazy, we would look across the fence over at Jagged, Drew Hill, Next, and we would be like, man, why he won't let us release a ballad? Because we sing things.
Right.
But because I have friendships with these guys, they would say, we were looking across the street like, man, but they got big in their record, man. They on the
Everybody
club.
looking at the other one like they want to do what the other one's doing. Yeah.
We would like, man, we would be on tour with we'd be the only R&B act on a hip hop lineup, because we had records like Only You and It's Over Now and Dance With Me and Peaches and Cream, where the other R&B groups, they couldn't, because they would do the love, R&B love tours and all of that.
That's
but we would do
interesting.
both.
I never looked at 112. You're right. Now that I'm thinking about the.
It don't get no harder than the white lines on It's Over Now. Yeah. Or Come See Me with the Lost Boys. Like, man, we were hip hop and R&B. And what's funny is, commercially, you know us for the up tempos and the club joints. But the real diehard 112 who understood who we really were, you guys could go into the album and the Now That We're Done's and the all of the ballad records that we say that I like to say we were best known for the up tempos, but best loved for once you got deeper into the album.
No doubt. Okay. All right. Yeah, I feel okay. Yes. What would be Q's favorite 112 joint?
Favorite is tough. So I say the most special. And I would say the most special is Only You, because it was the start. It's also special because of Notorious B.I.G. It don't get no better, man, than coming out the blocks with Big on your record to validate you, to say, if you rock with me, rock with my little brothers. And it's so funny, man.
Yeah, y'all had the whole roster on it, Mace too.
Yeah, man. It was that was the best intro, and it was an intro that our competitors didn't get. And so if you would talk to Jagged and Drew Hill and all those, they'll tell you, man, we were so jealous, man, because y'all first record had how can we compete against B.I.G. Like,
yeah. Now, who talked y'all into this as a first? Because obviously this is a remix. Mm-hmm. We get it. Puff was the king of the remix. Yeah. But are y'all seeing when this comes? Who brings this here? Like, hey, this needs to be the first single. We need to remix this.
Puff all day.
Really? Okay.
He would just send us samples, and we'd be in the studio, just the four of us. Sometimes Stevie J would be there, and he'd just be like, "All right, I'll be back." And we hated the record, mind you. We hated Only You. We did not want that to be the first single. I mean,
this is always the great story of almost every group. We hated that song.
When I say hated it, bro, we hated it. Like, because to be a singer, you want to sing.
Yeah. And
we felt like Only You was just so...
It's a bop.
You know, like, I didn't get my singing off. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that was the teenager really understanding how to allow the melody to drive the vehicle. And here we are now, 30 years later, and anybody can sing, you don't got to be a great singer to be able to sing that song. So no matter where we go, or where I go, that song ain't never gonna die.
When did you know that song, like, life just changed?
Probably the first time we started going on the road and promoting the record. Our very first tour was with the Isley Brothers. And so imagine these four little teenagers opening up for a Isley Brothers crowd. I mean, the Sunday hats, they're coming straight from church. Grandmama and them on the front row.
I see.
And Only You was out. But one of the things that I guess made Puff fall in love with us, we used to do a medley. And in that medley, it showcased all of our vocal abilities. Mm-hmm. In that medley, so I did a Brian McKnight record, Duran did Stevie, Mike did Donny Hathaway, and Slim did Babyface. Wow. And we only had 10 minutes as an opener. We did that medley, which made the older crowd say, hey, these guys can really sing. Because if you didn't know the Brian McKnight song, you knew Duran's Stevie version of All in Family Love. Love. And then Mike would sing, I've been so many places in my life and time. You knew that. And so if you were a little bit younger, you knew Slim would do Babyface's How Much I Love You, Girl. No, 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 no.
That boy just wants y'all to know he can sing.
So that was
a little bit.
That was our way of letting them know that
we got it.
We can sing.
Yeah.
And that crowd, they don't care how well you dance. They don't care how you look. They want you to be able to sing.
Yes, sir.
And once we was able to just get their ear open, then we'd say, but this is our new single. And then we start dancing and bopping and doing all of that.
Grandmama come along with
Grandmama,
you.
she gonna clap a little bit, but only because she was like, oh, these little young dudes can sing.
Yeah.
So Only You, man, is just special in a lot of ways, man. So I won't ever say favorite because we wrote a lot of the songs ourselves, so it's hard to choose a favorite. So I just always say the most special.
I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Now, obviously, you in H-Town for a reason. I would be remiss to let you come in here and we just sit here and reminisce about the good old days.
Yeah, man.
We got to talk about today, too.
Yeah.
Because there's still stuff happening for Q Parker.
Absolutely.
So talk to me about what's going on. Why you in the great city of H-Town, brother?
Well, I'm in the city of H-Town, man. Obviously, to come and see you all. I'm embarking on releasing some new music. Really excited about it, man. I have a lead single that'll be to you guys in a couple of weeks. It's called Beg. Really, really excited, man. You know, OG Keith Sweat, man, he popularized begging, man. And so I think cats done got out of practice of just making begging just a normalcy. And so this record, man, really speaks about that. But then also this upcoming Saturday, myself, Wingo from Jagged Edge, and RL from Next, we're doing a performance at Bar 5015. Big shout out to
That's
Steve.
like the best of the best, huh?
Yeah, man. Big shout out to Steve Rogers, Tay Mitch, Terry Thomas, the whole team over there. We're friends outside of being competitors.
Yeah.
On any given day, you'll catch us grabbing lunch. And so we have a podcast that we're getting ready to launch in a couple of weeks also called Group Chat.
Y'all three?
Yeah.
Really?
Talking about brotherhood, life, marriage, money, our journey, our experiences as friends, but also competitors, because, you know, we wanted to outsell Next. We wanted to outsell Jagged Edge. Y'all can't sing better than us. We can sing better than y'all. We can do this. We sold these many records.
Make sure y'all don't leave out the fights.
All of that. All of that is a part of our long-lasting friendship. And so anytime we can get on the stage together, like when you put all of our connections to the catalogs of our groups, it really lends to a great showing, man. And so as much as we can, we'll show up and do a couple of songs in some different cities. And so we're going to do it this Saturday.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate y'all coming to. What do y'all call it? Do y'all have a name for it when y'all tour like this? Just you guys?
No, it's just 3 individual brothers, man. It's just Q Parker, Wingo, and RL.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they can come there. They can check y'all out the whole
Absolutely.
night.
This Saturday, yeah.
Let me tell you, man, it's great to talk to you. Your energy is still like it was when you were 17, 18, 19.
That's what.
But you threw me off when you said your age. I'm like, God dang, one of these days I'm going to just have to acknowledge my age.
Hey, man.
To me, I'm still a stern 32, maybe 30. Yeah, maybe 33.
But that's how I feel. I feel like about 30. 32, 33, you know? I feel that way, but I mean, the reality, man, is...
What's the one thing my last question, what's the one thing that life has taught Q Parker after all these years?
Dude, peace, man. Peace is one of the most important words in my life right now. Nothing can compromise that, dude. Stay in your safe space. Strive for peace in all aspects, in business, in personal relationships, in finances, in just every aspect of my life, dude. I strive for peace, and that peace keeps stress down. That peace keeps, man, it prevents a whole lot of stuff. And as a black man, you know, we have silent killers. And I'm not gonna speed up the process by being stressed and not having peace. And so yeah,
I love it, man.
That's my word, man.
Q Parker.
Peace. Yeah.
I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you,
Thank you, man. Great seeing you again.
Great
man.
seeing you, man.
Absolutely.
Looking all 22 and a half.
I'll take it.